Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good evening, everyone. Doing a special edition of the Daily Reflections today. I got Instagram on my phone over here. Facebook is catching up online. It's Sober Stories Project. Welcome. I usually don't go live Sunday nights. Usually I'm in bed by now, but I took a very long nap today. So I got up and from my nap, and I felt like getting on and talking and, seeing what else was going on. So if you are here, please say hello, whether you are here for the live or the rewatch. There's Chris saying hi. We got Sober Stories Project, and I'm presuming you're probably a podcaster for Sober Stories. Awesome. That's fantastic stuff. I'm a podcaster too, and I love storytelling. It's great work. Good evening, Gary. Good to see you. Good to see you. So, causes and conditions. Cause, why? Right? Yo, hey, Brenda. Good to see you, honey. Okay, one of the things that got me in my meeting earlier was there was some AA function, and they had a pony cake and a root beer because they thought that would be funny. I don't find that shit funny, guys. I don't go to sober bars. I don't fuck with mocktails. I'll mess around with my sobriety. I don't find it funny. When people when people make fun of each other on Facebook with those memes and stuff, I don't think those are very funny either. Like AA in the front, NA in the back. I think that tends to divide us more, and we don't need any of that. I understand. We on light note, we gotta have some humor. Guys, I'm thinking about the newcomer coming in. I ain't fucking thinking about you. And you should be thinking about the newcomer coming in too. What kind of, what do you want to say to these people? Do you want to say that because every day we fight to have addicts in the alcoholic meetings, you guys can't be doing that shit. I fight every day to have that stuff in there, right? And this is part of what this talk is about, because causes and conditions comes down to selfishness. There's a division that's going around, and it's uncool. And I'm going to give you guys an example. So I waited till after yesterday intentionally. There was a rally going on, right? Recovery We. If you know there, I'm not going to bring up any names. And I tried to get involved with that twice during the last 6 months, and they would not contact me. And I know that they won't contact me because somebody else was whispering in their ear. Well, that same person whispered in my ear how they had done something wrong to me that hadn't. Hey, Paula. So I even reached out at one point and said, hey, if you're going to listen to the bullshit, great. And one of their workers puts an ad on my Facebook page. Ooh, right? So what? I don't care. That's the thing. I don't care, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Because the person that did it didn't even know what they were doing. They have no idea that this other person doesn't like me. So is it my job to ream this person's ass? No, I don't get into that stuff. In fact, go ahead and post it. Heck, there's one person that flat out stole my name. I let him post. Real life recovery. Raw recovery. Go steal your own shit. All right, let's get to causes and conditions, right? Because that's really what this comes down to. Causes and conditions are in the third step. Page 62. Everybody get ready. Most of us probably have this memorized. Selfishness, self-centeredness, that we think is the root of our troubles. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity, we step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that at some time in the past, we have made decisions based on self, which later places us in a position to be hurt. This can happen while you're in sobriety too. This can happen. I've done it. I've had to go back and make amends. I've even had to go back and make amends to these people that I'm talking about. See, that's the key. My side of the street is clean. And that's the key, guys. Stay in your lane and make sure your side of the street is clean. Don't be going digging other people's shit when your side of the street stinks. All right? We get enough of that crap out of the real world, then we'd out with that. So, sorry, I tend to read really fast and then summarize it for people. I'm just used to that. I'm sorry, Gary. We get enough of that crap out in the real world. These rooms should be a safe place for all of us. We need to see that stuff in the meetings, yeah. But, so what happens in that? Do you guys get it? It's selfishness. They may not understand it. I was in my meeting and I was thinking, God, please help them. And then this is the first thought that came to my mind. Am I doing that? I covered that real quick. No, I wasn't. Okay. I gotta look at me. Just because I'm looking at somebody else doesn't mean I'm not involved. Right? We got it, Gary. Don't worry. So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example. Self will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. Okay, this isn't really the part that I'm getting to, because I'm presuming at this point, if you're on here and actually listening, that you already know all this of what I'm talking about. You already know about your selfishness. I'm talking about the selfishness and the causes and conditions that continue to happen, even though you have completed that, because you're missing something. We got a lot of things going up here. Let's do this. Let's get a couple of things up. Unfortunately, some people who help others are sicker than those they're trying to save. Yeah, two-step. We call that two-stepping. Where you do the first step and the 12th step. Okay? Now, you can help other people. I don't care how much time you have, but Brenda's trying to say something entirely different. She's almost talking about newer people in a professional area, right? Paula, I agree with what you're saying. At the same time, we can look at ourselves to death. We can live and die in our own heads. Absolutely, Paula. What I love it when people take the other side on that, because both sides are absolutely true. Right? None of this is untrue, and I'll tell you why, because it's experience, and our experience is truth. So let's get down on this a little bit and see what agreement we all come to. So this is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. Do you ever come back some days and you notice, oh, I'm playing God? Okay, let it go. Don't beat up on yourself about that. It's going to happen. Happens to me all the time. I'm human. We are fallible. Right? I'm okay with it, because the 10th step gives us the right to be wrong. Okay, and if something goes wrong, it's God's fault, not mine. I'm kidding. All right. Next, we decide hereafter he was going to be the director. So 1, we quit playing. 2, we start believing in something else that's going to be bigger than us, right? He is the Father. We are his children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone to the new and triumphant arc through which we pass to freedom. I'm going to read I have 5 minutes here. I go about 15 minutes. So I read this paragraph and then another little one. When we sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. These are the third step prayers. And Paulo is hitting it. It's very simple. It's called surrender, surrender, surrender. Yep. All sorts of remarkable things followed, right? We had a new employer being all powerful. He provided what we needed if we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves. Our little plans and designs, more and more we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, as we discovered we could face life successfully, as we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or hereafter we were reborn. This can be very dangerous right here, because you have to absent there can't be any more reservations about this. Okay. And we have to be established on a footing, or you're just not ready for that third step yet. Okay. This is the part right here where people read and they start coming up with the idea that they can do this better so that they can avoid the fourth step. This is where it usually happens right here. So we are getting to causes and conditions. Where is it? Gosh darn it. I'm sorry, guys. Next, we launched on a course of vigorous action, the first step of which is a personal house cleaning, which many of us never had attempted. Though our decision was a vital and crucial step, it could have little permanent effect if not at once followed by strenuous effort to face and be rid of the thing of ourselves which has been blocking us. Our liquor was a symptom, so we had to get down to causes and conditions. So what are some of my other things? Well, fear, we know that one, right? I got a lot of fear in there. I got a lot of angst, man. I'm angry. I was angry at a lot of people, but it is telling us, okay, we had it easy in steps 1, 2, and 3. We are now going to start out on a vigorous course of action, and it needs to start immediately. Okay. And then you're going to be able to get down to your causes and your conditions, which is the fourth step. And the fourth step is what changes everything. Paul says anger and fear are synonymous. Yes, they are. I think that the opposite of fear is blame, because we usually tend to blame other sorry, I was reading that. I forgot where I was going to, but that's okay. We got something here. It took me 4 years to do the fourth step, made every excuse to myself not to do it. Letting go of control and letting it all out was a profound spiritual experience. Giant spiritual dump. Love it. Yeah, just because, and you know what? Sometimes it's how it works. Maybe we had a little bit or something was happening, but he finally did it. And then he got that. We are amazed before we were halfway through. The obsession to drink leaves at this point. It's supposed to leave around the third, fourth step, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you have no lurking notions, okay, figure out if you have a lurking notion. Let your significant other leave town for the weekend with you not being accountable to anyone. Do you feel okay with that? I'd be fine with that. But it took me some time to get there, man. Okay, we cannot have any lurking notions. Okay. And today I saw a bunch of people whistling in the dark and it scared the fuck out of me. Okay. Not for me. That stuff keeps me sober. So, all right, we've hit that 15-minute mark. I I wasn't even sure really what I was going to go over when I came on here. I just knew that God was telling me that I needed to. And so that I listened and I went and did it. So, all right. Well, I'm probably going to go play video games for a couple hours because I'm going to be able to do that all weekend. So thank you everybody for being here. Sober Stories. I'm usually here in the mornings, but you can always do a rewatch. Reach out if you need speakers. I'd be happy to be on. Paula, Chris, Gary, and I believe I saw David, didn't I? Was it David on here at one point? No. Okay. All right. David must be in bed. All right, guys. Thank you. I love you. Peace out and have a day.